Hello, my name is Jonathan Burrell. This is a contribution play. This is my mom. This is my dad. My mom will be doing Miss Love, and my dad will be doing Miss Katie. And this is our audience, my little sister, Jackie.
Where he leads me, I shall follow. Where he leads me, I shall follow. Where he leads me, I shall follow. I'll go with him.
Grandma, please! You'll wake up the dead.
I called you a half an hour ago. You dressed?
I can't find my pants.
I pressed them. They're out here.
I just got those trousers out of the cleaners and they didn't need pressing. I bet you scorched them.
You should wear a robe around the house, boy. You never know when I'm having company.
I'm sorry. Morning, Miss Katie.
Morning, Eugene. He ran out of here like a skink cat. Like I ain't never seen a man in his drawers before.
There, I'll put this bread in the oven and it'll be ready in no time. I'll appreciate your taking it down to the sheriff for me. He'd bust a gut if he didn't have my cornbread for breakfast. I sing because I'm happy. I sing because I'm free.
I'm only doing it because I don't want to see a woman your age out on the streets today.
His eye is on the sparrow, and I know he watches me.
Just the same, I'm glad you decided to take off. White folks has been coming into town since sunup by the truckload. Mean white folks who are out for blood.
They're just as scared as you, Katie Jones.
Ain't no sin being scared. Ain't you scared for Eugene?
Scared of what?
That lunch counter has been white folk for as long as I can remember. And them folks around here aim to keep it that way.
Let them aim all they want to. The thing that tees me off is they won't let me march.
Miss Love, your heart couldn't take it.
You'd be amazed at what my heart's done took all these years, baby.
Where's my sports shirt? The green one.
In the drawer where it belongs. I'm ironing this white shirt for you to wear.
A white shirt? I'm not going to a formal dance.
I want you neat when you sit down at that counter. Newspaper men from all over the country will be there, and if they put your picture in the papers, I want folks to say, "My, ain't that a nice looking, neat young man?"
You ask your boss how long he'll let me stay.
I ain't asked Sheriff Morrison nothing.
He let you off today so you could nurse my wounds when I get back, huh?
You ain't gonna get no wound, son. You ain't gonna get this nice white shirt ruined either. What's wrong with you anyway? You trying to, what y'all say, chicken out?
No, I'm not going to chicken out, but I'm nervous.
I'm nervous too, for myself, and for all you young folks. Like the mayor said on TV last night, the whites and the colors always got on well here.
So long as we stayed in our respective places.
He said, we want to eat in the drugstore, we ought to build our own.
Then why don't you build a drugstore on Main Street with a lunch counter in it?
Where am I going to get the money?
Where is any colored person in this town gonna get the money? Even if we got it, you think they'd let us lease a building, let alone buy property on Main Street?
I know, Miss Love,
But nothing. If I was a woman your age, I'd be joining them children.
I'm with y'all, Eugene, in mind, if not in body.
Mm-hmm.
But I have children to raise, and I have to think about my job.
Why don't you think about your children's future? Them few pennies you making ain't shit. And if things stay the same, it'll be the same way for those children too. But Lord knows, if they're like the rest of these young folks today, they're gonna put you down real soon.
I provide for my children by myself, and they love me for it. We have food on the table each and every day.
Beans and greens. When's the last time y'all had steaks?
Well, at least we ain't starving.
Neither is your boss lady.
Miss Comfort said y'all are the communists.
I'll be damned. How come every time a black person speaks up for himself, he's got to be a communist?
That's what the white folks think.
Well, ain't that something? Here I am, old black me, trying to get to this democracy to working like it ought to be working, and the Democratic white folks say wait. Now tell me why the hell would I want to join another bunch of white folks that I don't know nothing about and expect them to put me straight?
Good.
Oh, oh, here's your shirt, son. Wear a tie and comb that natural. Put a part in your hair.
Good gracious.
Militant. That's what Miss Comfort calls them. Militant.
What does that mean?
Bad. That's what it means. Bad folks.
I hope you love your children as much as you seem to love Miss Comfort.
I hate that woman.
Why?
I hate all white folks, don't you?
Katie Jones, I don't hate nobody. I get disgusted with them, but I don't hate them.
Well, you're different from me.
Just look at my cornbread.
It smells good.
Don't you dare pinch off it either.
I don't want that white man's food. I hope it chokes the hell out of that mean bastard.
I see how come your boss lady is calling you militant, Katie.
Well, I don't like him. Patting me on the behind like I'm a dog. He's got that habit bad.
You make haste with this bread. He likes it hot.
Yes, sir. I ain't gonna be caught dead in the midst of all that ruckus.
You hurry along now. And don't you dare pinch off it. You turn to stone. You about ready, son?
I guess so.
Come out here and let me look at you.
Since when do I have a standing inspection?
Since now. You look right smart, and I want you to stay that way.
How? You know this sheriff ain't going to stop at nothing to keep us out of that drugstore.
Stop worrying about Sheriff Morrison.
He's the one who's raising all this hell. The mayor was all to integrate until the sheriff got wind of it.
Yes, I know, but don't worry about him. Try to relax.
How can I relax?
I thought most of you young cats had nerve today.
And I wish you'd stop embarrassing me with all that slang.
I'm just trying to talk. Y'all talk, baby.
There's something wrong with the woman 8 years old trying to act like a teenager.
What was it you was telling me the other day about that gap? How young folks and old folks can't talk together?
The generation gap?
Well, I done bridged it, baby. You did?
You were ludicrous.
Well, that's one up on me. But I'll cop it sooner or later.
I know, you'll try.
Damn right.
That's another thing. All this swaying you've been doing lately?
Picked it up from you and your friends sitting right there in my living room under the picture of Jesus. Don't explain. Now you know how it sounds to me.
Why did you have to bring this up at a time like this?
You brought it up, baby.
I wish you wouldn't call me baby. I'm a grown man.
Ain't I heard you grown men calling each other baby?
Well, that's different. And stop using ain't so much. You know better.
I wish I was educated like you, Eugene, but I aren't.
Good gracious.
Let me fix that tie.
My tie's all right.
It's crooked.
Just like that phony sheriff that you get up at 6 in the morning to cook cornbread for.
The sheriff means well, son, in his fashion.
That bastard is one-dimensional, all black.
Don't let him hear you call him black.
What would he do? Beat me with his billy club like he does the rest of us around here?
You have to try to understand folks like Mr. Morrison.
Turn the other cheek, huh?
That's what the Bible says.
That's what the Bible says.
I sure do wish I could go with y'all.
To eyewitness the slaughter?
You young folks ain't the only militant ones, you know.
You work for a meanest patty in town. And to hear you tell it, he adores the ground you walk on. Now you're a big militant.
I try to get along with folks, son.
You don't have to work for a trash like Sheriff Morrison. You don't have to work at all. You own this house. Daddy sends you checks which you tear up. You could get a pension, if you weren't so stubborn. You don't have to work at your age, and you surely don't have to embarrass the family by working for trash.
What am I supposed to do? Sit here and rock like an old apple? The minute woman's hairs turn gray, folks want her to take a rocking chair and sit it out. Not this chick, baby. I'm keeping active. I've got a long way to go and much more to do before I go to meet my maker.
Listen to you!
I mean it. I want to be a part of the rights thing. But no, y'all say I'm too old.
That's right, you are. Your generation and my generation are complete contrasts. We don't think alike at all. The grand and shuffle school is dead.
That's for calling me a Tom.
I didn't call you a Tom, but I have seen you grinding and bowing to white folks and it made me sick to the stomach.
And it put your daddy through college. And he could raise you and comfort like he raised you. Northern comfort, which you wasn't satisfied with, no. You had to come down here and free us soul brothers from bondage, and if we can't do it, as if we can't do it for ourselves. Now, don't try to tell me that your world was perfect up there. I've been there and I've seen. Sick to your stomach? I'm sick to my stomach whenever I pick up a paper and turn on the news and see where young folks is being washed down with hoses and being bitten by dogs, even killed. I get sick to my stomach when I realize how hungry some folks are and how disrespectful the world's gotten. I get sick to my stomach, baby, because the world is more messed up now than ever was. You looking at me like that because I shock you? You shock me. You know why? Your little secure ass is down here to make history in your own way, and you are scared shitless. I had dreams when I was your age, too.
Times are different then. Times were different then. I know that.
Maybe so, but in our hearts, we know what was right and what was wrong. We know what this country was supposed to be, and we know what we was a part of, for better or for worse, like a marriage. We prayed for a better tomorrow, and that's why that picture of Jesus got dust on it in my front room right now. Because the harder we prayed, the worse it got.
Things are better now. You always say.
Let's hope they don't get no worse.
Thanks to us.
If you don't take that chip off your shoulder, I'm going to blister your behind, boy. Sit down there and eat your breakfast.
I'm not hungry.
Drink some juice then.
I don't want anything.
Look at you, a nervous wreck at 21. Just because you got to walk through a bunch of poor white trash and sit at a lunch counter in a musty old drugstore.
I may be a little tense. It's only natural. You be too.
I do my bit, baby, and it don't affect me in the least. I've seen the blazing cross and the hooded faces in my day. I've smelt black flesh burning with tar and necks stretched like taffy.
Seeing those things was your contribution, I guess.
You'd be surprised at my contribution.
Nothing that you did would surprise me at all. You're a hard-headed old woman.
And I'm justified in whatever I do. Life ain't been pretty for me, son. Oh, I suppose I had some happiness like when I married your granddaddy or when I gave birth to your daddy. But as I watched him grow up, I got meaner and meaner.
You may be evil, but not me.
I worked to feed and clothe him like Katie's doing for her children, and I had a goal in mind. Katie's just doing it to eat. I wanted something better for my son. They used to call me nigger one minute and swear they loved me the next. I grinned and bore it like you said. Sometimes I even had to scratch my head and bow. But I got your daddy through college.
I know, and I'm grateful. He's grateful. Why don't you go and live with him like he wants you to?
'Cause I'm stubborn and independent, and I want to see me some more colored men's around here with pride and dignity.
So that Sheriff Mason can pound the hell out of him. So that Sheriff Morrison can pound the hell out of it every Saturday night with his billy club.
I've always worked for white folks like that. I worked for a white doctor once who refused to treat your granddaddy, let him die because he hated black folks. I worked for him and his family, and they grew to love me like one of the family.
You are the true Christian lady.
I reckon I turned the other cheek some. Grin and bowed, you call it. Held them white folks' hand when they was sick, nursed their babies, and I sat back and watched them all die out year by year. Old Dr. Fulton was the last to go. He had worked around death all his life, and death frightened him. He asked me, black me, to sit with him during his last hours.
Of course you did.
Indeed, and I loved every minute of it. Remind me sometimes to tell you about it. It's getting late. I don't want you to be tardy.
I bet you hope that I bet you hope they put me under the jail so you can tom up to your boss and say, I tried to tell him, but you know how.
I don't want to have you again, baby boy.
I'm sorry.
I've got my ace in the hole, and I ain't nervous about it either. You doing all that huffing and puffing, the white folks are apt to blow you down with the hard stare. Now you scoot. Us loves is known for our promptness.
If I die, remember, I'm dying for Negroes like Miss Cat.
You must have got that inferior blood from your mama's side of the family. You ain't gonna die, boy. You're coming back here to me just as pretty as you left.
Have you and the sheriff reached a compromise?
Just you go on.
I'll be back home, Grandma.
I know it, hon. Son,
Ma'am,
the Bible says love, and I does. I turns the other cheek, and I loves till I can't love no more. Well, I reckon I ain't perfect. I ain't like Jesus was. I can only bear a cross so long. I guess I've had it. I guess I've had it, as you young folks say, done been spit on, insulted, but I grinned and I bore my cross for a while. Then there was peace, satisfaction, sweet satisfaction. Son, you've been a comfort to me. When you get to be my age, you want someone to talk to and loves you from the bottom of my and I loves you from the bottom of my heart.
Granny, I know. I'm sorry I said those things. I understand how you feel, and I understand why you.
Don't try to understand me, son, because you don't even understand yourself yet. Go on out there and get you some dignity. Be a man, then we can talk.
I'll be damned, old lady.
Now get.
I'll be damned.
Dear Eugene, your son has made me right proud today. You ought to have seen him leaving here to sit in at the drugstore with them other fine young colored children. Lord, letter writing can tire a body out. I'll let the boy finish it when he gets back.
Miss Love.
They aren't writing. Well, what's wrong with you? They aren't writing, are they? That's what's the matter. You give the sheriff his bread?
I poked my head in through the door and he says, what you want, gal? I told him I bought his breakfast. He says, all right, bring it in here. His eyes lit up when he looked at your cornbread.
Didn't they?
He told me to go get him a quart of buttermilk from the icebox. Then he started eating that bread and he yelled at me, hurry up, gal, before I finish.
Then what happened?
I got his milk, and when I got back, he was half standing, half sitting at his desk, holding that big stomach of his and cussing to high heaven. Give me some goddamn milk. Can't you see these ulcers killing the hell out of me?
He ain't got no ulcers.
He had some, all right. His old blue eyes was just darting about in what looked to be little pools of blood. His face was red as beef.
Go on, child.
He was panting and breathing hard. He drank all that milk in one long gulp. Then he belched and told me to get my black ass out of his face. He told me to tell the Negroes that the day will be all and in all day.
Indeed.
And he flung that plate at me. I ran across the street. The street was full of white folks with sticks and rocks and things. Old white folks and young ones, even children. My white folks was even there.
What was they doing?
Just standing, that's all. They wasn't saying nothing, just staring and watching. They looked down the street towards that drugstore, then turned and looked towards the sheriff's office. Then old Sheriff Morrison come out. He was sort of bent over in the middle. He belched and his stomach growled. I could hear it clean across the street.
Oh, I've seen it before, child. I've seen it. First, Dr. Fulton, a medical man who didn't know his liver from his kidney, he sat and watched his entire family die out, one by one, then let himself die because he's dumb. Called me to his deathbed and asked me to hold his hand. I ain't got nobody else to turn to now, Auntie. I asked him. You related to me in some way? He laughed and the pain hit him like an axe. Sing me a spiritual, he told me. I told him I didn't know no spiritual. Sing something holy for me. I'm dying. He says, I'll be glad when you're dead, you rascal, you. I'll be glad when you're dead, you rascal, you. Then I told him how come he was dying.
He was a doctor, didn't he know?
Shoot, Dr. Fulton, how come you didn't treat my husband? How come you let him die out there in the alley like an animal? When I got through opening his nose with what was happening, he raised up, red like the sheriff with his hands outstretched towards me, and he fell right square off the bed onto the floor, dead. I spit on his body, went downstairs, cooked me a steak, got my belongings, and left.
You didn't call the undertaker?
I left that bastard for the maggots. I wasn't his auntie. The neighbors found him a week later stinking to hell. Oh, they came by to question me, but I was grieved, child, and they left me alone. You know how niggers is scared to death, they said. And now the sheriff, oh, I have great peace of mind, child, because I'm like my grandson in my own fashion. I'm too old to be hit and wet up, they say, but I votes and does my bit.
I reckon I'll get on. You think you ought to stay here by yourself?
I'll be all right. You run along now. Go tend to your children before they get away from you.
Ma'am?
Them kids got eyes, Katie, and they know what's happening, and they ain't gonna be liking their mama's attitude that much longer. You're a young woman, Katie. There ain't no sense in your continuing to be a fool for the rest of your life.
I don't know what you're talking about, Miss Love.
You'll find out one day. I just hope it ain't too late. I thank you for that favor.
Yes, sir.
Grandma, they served us and didn't a soul do a thing. We've integrated.
Tell me about it.
When I got there, every white person in the county was on the street. They had clubs and iron pipes. There were dogs and fire trucks with hoses. When we reached the drugstore, old man Thomas was standing in the doorway. What y'all want? He asked. Service, someone had said. That's when the crowd started yelling and making nasty remarks. None of us moved an inch. Then the sheriff came down the street from his office. He walked slowly like he was sick.
Didn't he cuss none?
He swore up and down. He walked to me and said, "Boy, what you and them other niggers doing? What you and them other niggers doing? What here? Freedom, baby," I told him. "Freedom my ass," he said. "Y'all get on back where you belong and stop acting up before I sit them dogs on you." "We're not leaving until we've been served," I told him. He looked at me in a complete amazement.
Then he belched and started to foam at the mouth.
He was mad, Grandma. He said he'd die before a nigga sat where a white woman's ass has been. "God is my witness," he shouted. "May I die before I see this place integrated." Then he took out his whistle.
Put it to his lips, and before he could get up to breathe to blow, he fell on the ground.
He rolled himself into a tight ball, holding his stomach, cussing and moaning and thrashing around.
And foaming at the mouth got worse. He puked, the bloody puke. His eyes looked like they'd been popped right out of the sockets. He opened his mouth and gasped for breath.
In the excitement, some of the kids went inside the drugstore, and the girl at the counter says, "Y'all can have anything you want. Just don't put a curse on me." While black folks were filling that counter, someone yelled outside,
Sheriff Morrison is dead.
"How do you know so much? You weren't there."
No, son, I wasn't there. But I've seen it before. I've seen
"What?"
death in the raw. Dr. Crawford's entire family went that way.
"Grandma."
Some of them had it easier and quicker than the rest, depending.
"Depending on what?"
How they had loved and treated their neighbor, namely me.
"What's in that bag you're fumbling with?
Spice.
You're lying to me. What is it?
The spice of life, baby.
Did you do something to Sheriff Morrison?
In the sweet by and by, we shall meet.
What did you do to Sheriff Morrison?
I helped y'all integrate in my own fashion.
What did you do to that man?
I gave him peace, sent him to meet his maker, and I sent him in grand style too. Tore his very guts out with my special seasoning, degrading me, calling me nigger, beating my men folks.
Why?
Because I'm tired of old black women who's been tired and who ain't got no place and never had a place in this country. You talk about a new Negro. Hell, I was a new Negro 76 years ago. Don't you think I wanted to sip me a Coca-Cola in the store when I went out shopping? Don't you think I wanted to have a decent job that would have given me some respect and enough money to feed my family and clothe them decently? I resented being called girl and auntie by folks who weren't even good as me. I worked for nigger haters, made them love me, and put my boy through school. Then I sent them to eternity with flying colors. I got no regrets, boy. Just peace of mind and satisfaction. And I don't need no psychiatrist. I done vented my pent up emotion. Ain't that what you're always saying?
You can be sent to the electric chair.
Who? Aunt Grace Love? Good old black auntie? Shoot, I know white folks, son. I've been at this business for a long time now, and they know I know my place.
Oh, Grandma.
Cheer up. I done what I did for y'all. But if you don't appreciate it, ask some of the colored boys who ain't been to college and who's felt of a man Morrison's stick against their heads. They'd appreciate it. Literation, just like the Underground Railroad. Harriet Tubman, that's me. Only difference is I ain't going down in history. Now you take off them clothes before you get them wrinkled.
Where are you going?
To shed a tear for the deceased and get me a train ticket.
You going home to Daddy?
Your daddy don't need me no more, son. He got your mama. No, I ain't going to your daddy.
Then where you going?
Ain't you said them college students is sitting in Mississippi and they ain't making much headway because of the governor? Well, I think I'll take me a little trip to Mississippi and see what's happening. You wouldn't by chance know the governor's name, would you?
What?
I have a feeling he just might need a good cook.
Grandma.
Get out those clothes now. And while I'm downtown, I think I have me some ice cream soda at Mr. Thomas. Ain't much left, Lord. I wonder who'll be next. I'll put me an ad in the paper. Who knows? It may be you or you. Where he leads me, I shall follow. Where he leads me, I shall follow.